This presentation was developed to help you understand the importance of playgroups and how they can play a significant role in supporting families and the overall outcomes for children. The information will focus on characteristic 6 in the Quality Practice Framework for school-based playgroups. First, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today. We pay our respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging, as they are the holders of the memories, the traditions, the culture, and the spiritual well-being of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples across the nation. In the spirit of reconciliation, partnership, and mutual respect, we will continue to work together with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples to shape the well-being of families and children, which responds to the needs and aspirations of the community. Today we're going to explore developing your knowledge and understanding of characteristic 6 of the Quality Practice Framework for school-based playgroups and developing your knowledge and understanding of the focus areas of development. And they are playgroup attendance costs, strategies used to promote the playgroup in the local community, quality advertising playgroup on promotion material, playgroup signage, strategies to facilitate regular attendance of local children and families, suitability of the playgroup operating hours, orientation to the playgroup venue, facilitators' engagement of parents with other services, support provided to parents and children for upcoming change and transitions, promotion and understanding of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people's way of knowing and being, celebration and understanding of individual children's cultural backgrounds, introductions of new parents to other parents, provision of support to families experiencing vulnerability, knowledge of services to support parents and children, and lucky last is engagement of parents and children at playgroup sessions. Characteristic 6 is collaborative partnerships with families and communities. It focuses on supportive, respectful relationships with children, which are essential to achieving the best start to life for every child. The characteristic encourages building collaborative relationships with families and communities to enhance children's inclusion, learning well-being as they transition through to the early years into school. It promotes greater understanding through education of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people's way of knowing and being, and honours the cultural heritage and needs of individual parents and children. Now we're going to move on to the framework. So on the left-hand side column, you can see the quality practice domains, which is number 6, and collaborative partnerships with families and community. Then the column beside that is the focus area of development. And then up the top is the level of quality. So the first one is not considered quality, then it moves along to considering quality, developing quality, and embedding quality. Now the embedding quality column is the high quality column. That's where we're all aiming to achieve for our playgroup environment. The first focus area of development is 6.1, which is playgroup attendance costs. Now, that embedding quality column states that attendance is free for all families. Now, this is really, really important because for some families experiencing vulnerability, if you're going to place, some dollars attached to attending your playgroup, even if it's $1, $2, or maybe a $50 fee for the whole year, to some families, that is a really, really ginormous cost. It could mean either they come to playgroup or they buy their family a loaf of bread. Now, you would hope that they would be buying that loaf of bread for their family, but it really puts them in a hard situation because obviously they see the benefit of playgroup, however, they just cannot afford to come. 2.6 Strategies used to promote the playgroup in the local environment. So that embedding quality column states that promotion of the playgroup is consistent across the local community with personal invitations prioritized and details readily available in multiple forms. For example, school community inviting known families. There may be a stall at the under 8s day, for example, or an early childhood event, posters and flyers displayed within the local community, around the school, personal translation available through community with translated flyers. Uh, when applicable, obviously, and connecting with community services. So, connecting with those family support services, DV services, child safety, etc., to really build that awareness that your playgroup is in the local community. The next one is 6.3, Quality Advertising Playgroup on Promotion Material. The embedding quality column states that all advertising material provides a location map and is available in multiple language and has images to engage diverse cultural communities. A map on the flyer is really important. So then if there is a language barrier, then they will be able to still be able to understand where within your school the playgroup is located. Now we're moving on to 6.4, playgroup signage. Embedded in quality column states that playgroup is clearly signed at the front of the school and reception area with all staff able to easily guide families to the playgroup location within the school. Now this is really important. So when families are trying to find the playgroup, that all staff, the staff at reception, teachers, groundsmen will be able to tell the families what day it's on, what time, and whereabouts it's located within the school premise. 6.5 is strategies to facilitate regular attendance of local children and families. The embedding quality column states a range of strategies are in place to facilitate regular attendance rates of local children and families. Now, some examples of how you could maybe get regular attendance of families is maybe ask families that are attending to invite their friends, and then that way they're more inclined to continue to come regularly if they've got friends coming as well. There may be, you may hold special events on at your playgroup, for example, yoga events or healthy eating, cooking experiences. Make it really exciting for families wanting to come back on a regular basis. And also, I would probably suggest giving some ownership to the parents as well, giving them specific jobs that they're responsible for each week. For example, one may be responsible for ensuring that everyone's signed in, one may be responsible for organizing the morning tea and having that set out on the table for everybody. 6.6, suitability of playgroup operating hours. Operating hours are suitable for 0 to 5 years old attendance and is in accordance with community needs. For example, ask families to see what day time works best for them. Identify other playgroups in the area and have playgroup on a different day time and actively participate in community networks to identify needs. This is really important. So ideally within our community area, we would love to have a playgroup on each day of the week. So if another school or community down the road has a playgroup operating on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, for example, then you may consider putting your playgroup on a Thursday and a Friday. So that way there's an early childhood program operating every day of the week. Really, really important so families have that opportunity if they want to participate every day, or they may have work commitments on another day, so then they can go to a different playgroup on the day that they're available. Next, we're moving on to 6.7, orientation to the playgroup venue. The embedding quality column talks about orientation to the playgroup provides information and venue and a full guided tour on the premises. For example, showing amenities and giving emergency procedures. Families should be given an easy to read information booklet about how the playgroup operates and any other further details that you would like to provide the family about the playgroup space. Next is 6.8, facilitates engagement of parents with other services. So the embedding quality section states regular opportunities are provided for engagements of parents with health, community or government services. For example, brings in playgroup guests to provide support, education and advice to parents, teachers, dentists, nurses, for example. You may also consider providing families with assistance to locate or contact and access local community services. For example, a family may be experiencing financial hardship, so you may help them find a service that can support them with their finances. Also, you may support and encourage families to access information about local community services and resources. So within your playgroup, you may have near the door or wherever you have space, a wall full of community support flyers and pamphlets and information. So if parents don't feel comfortable in coming to you and asking for assistance, they have all that information there ready for them to access at any time. 6.9 looks at support provided to parents and children for upcoming change and transitions. The embedding quality, the high quality section states that support is regularly provided to parents and children in preparing for upcoming personal and family change and transitions with practical ideas and evidence-based strategies to foster safety and security. For example, some of the things that I might see coming into your playgroup, if you are achieving that embedding quality section, then I may see that children's positive transition to formal schooling is supported. You may have a school uniform in the dress up box so children can get familiar with the school environment and the school uniform. You may be playing in the prep playground. You may have introduction of the principal and support staff. You may read storybooks about change. For example, going to school. Maybe you may have a storybook about a new sibling coming into the family. Also, you may have school stay and play days for children transitioning to prep. And another really great idea, you may create a video by the prep teachers and current prep children of school life. Like, what is prep all about at your school to really help children become familiar with that transition into school? And so we can really have that best start to the school life and that successful transition. 610 is the promotion and understanding of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people's ways of knowing and being. The embedding quality, the high quality column, states that clear acknowledgement of honouring cultural heritage with promotion of greater understanding of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people's ways of knowing and being. Some of the things that I may see if you're achieving 6.10 in your playgroup environment would be maybe you could sing a song of acknowledgement of country with the families and children every morning before the playgroup session commences. You may be inviting traditional owners of the land to the playgroup to share cultures and their experiences. You may watch videos about cultural traditions. You may have Indigenous music playing during the playgroup session. Celebrating NAIDOC and special events is really important. You may display posters of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture, and you may have equipment and resources that reflects the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture. For example, dolls, cooking utensils, and having lots of art and craft resources and activities available. You may also want to display the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flag and map. And also, you may want to invite maybe some library staff to read Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture storybooks from your local library. It is really, really important that you embed Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture within your playgroup on a daily basis or every session, and not be mindful that you're not having tokenistic experiences. So trying really hard to, embed the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture through just your daily program and practice. Next is 6.11, Celebration and Understanding of Individual Children's Cultural Backgrounds. The playgroup facilitator has extensive knowledge of individual cultural backgrounds and celebrated regularly. For example, families are given opportunities to share their culture, and the child can see their culture within the physical environment. A range of diverse resources are used to celebrate different cultures and backgrounds. For example, through the enrolment paperwork that you would get families to fill out and complete prior to attending the playgroup session, you may ask the question through your enrolment paper what culture they may or may not identify with. And then you can ask them questions about what you would like to see within the playgroup environment to celebrate and share their culture with other families participating in the playgroup. For example, if you have a family that is from China, you may want to celebrate Chinese New Year. You may want to ask the family maybe to share some cooking experience with you. You may have a family that identifies coming from Italy, for example, and you may celebrate things that are important to that family within your playgroup. You may display their flag from their particular country. You may celebrate and share art experiences from that particular culture that they identify with. There's lots of different ways that you can be celebrating and acknowledging all different cultures from the families that participate in your playgroup. 6.12 is Introduction of New Parents to Other Parents. Now, the embedding quality column looks at consideration is given to introduce new parents with other parents, with support to the continualization of building partnerships through knowing the families well and bringing them together with common interests and experiences, building on these each week. An example I can give you is I was visiting a playgroup and there was a single mother and she had a newborn baby. And then a few weeks later, another mother started attending the playgroup and she also had a relatively newborn baby as well. They were around, I think it was about 4 or 5 months old. And the playgroup facilitator really made a great effort on introducing those two mothers together so they could really build a strong partnership together and support each other. And now, when I visit that playgroup, their babies are about 12 months old and they come to the playgroup regularly, and they've really created a really strong partnership together and have supported each other inside the playgroup but also outside the playgroup as well. You may also introduce families from a similar cultural background as well, and that way they'll be able to connect together with those similarities from their culture. 6.14, Knowledge of services to support parents and caregivers and children. So the embedding quality states that playgroup facilitator has extensive knowledge of services to support parents and children and actively seeks to engage with local community. So some of the examples to achieve 6.14 would be that families are referred and supported to make contact with appropriate support services, agencies where required. You may have links and relationships with other services and support agencies in the local community, and they're established and maintained. The playgroup researchers information to support children and families where required. It is really important to start to build those partnerships with local community support services, to Google or to physically drive around your local community and see what's available. So then when or if parents need that extra support, then you have the knowledge to be able to refer them to that particular community support service. It's also great to build those connections with those family support services and let them know that you do facilitate a playgroup within the school. And then that way they will refer families or encourage families to participate in your playgroup program. 6.15 is engagement of parents and children at playgroup sessions. So the embedding quality, the high quality column states that an engaging welcome is provided to all parents and children at all sessions from the start through to the end of the sessions. Over the next few slides, I have popped down some community support services that I feel are relatively important, but there's lots of other community support services that I've put on the digital electronic platform for everybody to access as well. So just have a look through the platform. There's lots of others. So there's Family Child Connect, and that's help preventing and treating child abuse and neglect. There's Act for Kids. So this service works around the world to protect children from abuse and neglect, provides access to healthcare and education to assist children in times of emergency. Then there's the Save the Children. The Early Childhood Early Intervention program is a national program supporting children aged 0 to 6 who have a developmental delay or disability. This is, NDIS, Early Childhood Early Intervention, which is ECEI. It's funded through the National Disability Insurance Scheme. The NDIS has engaged early childhood partners across Australia to deliver the ECEI approach. Then there's Benevolent Society, DV Connect. This service supports people to find pathways to safety away from domestic and families and sexual violence. The service provides emergency transport and accommodation for the entire family, including pets, and also provides safety planning, and crisis counselling, intervention, information, and referrals at no cost. There's also the Centre Against Domestic Abuse. So CADA aims to provide a safe, accessible and appropriate service that contributes to the prevention of domestic and family violence in the community and which supports and empower people affected by domestic and family violence. There's also the Institute for Urban Indigenous Health Service. So IUI is an Aboriginal community-controlled health service that leads the planning, development and delivery of health, family, wellbeing and social support services to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander population of the southeast Queensland. There's also the Department of Child Safety, Youth and Women, Oz Harvest. So Oz Harvest is Australia's leading food rescue organisation, collecting quality excess food from commercial outlets and delivering it directly more than to 1,300 charities supporting people in need across the country. So that's the end of the information on the PowerPoint presentation. Now you'll move on to doing some activities that relate to this particular characteristic 6. So activity 1 roughly will take you around 60 minutes, and it's creating an acknowledgement to country. So first, watch some recordings on the acknowledgement of country. Then go to the website and read how to create an acknowledgement of country. Then research and find out who are the traditional owners of the land on which your playgroup is held, and then develop your own acknowledgement of country. And also, this may be a really meaningful process if you do it with your families that access your playgroup as well. Activity 2 goes for 45 minutes, and it's the celebration of all cultures. So watch the recording, then go to Harmony Week, the government site, then click on the menu tab and navigate down to the events tab. Then complete the following tasks. So explain what Harmony Week is and why it is important to celebrate in your playgroup. And then you're going to create a calendar of events for the next 12 months using the calendar of cultural and religious dates and festivals and celebration details. Remember to really identify the families that are accessing your playgroup already and find out what cultural celebrations they may want to celebrate within your playgroup as well. Activity 3. Watch the recording called Connecting Playgroups with Community, then answer the following questions. So why is it important to connect your playgroup with community organisations? And how do you connect with community organisations? Then activity 4 is watch the recording, again, engaging families and children. Then read the How to Build Strong Partnerships with Families Early Childhood document. Then answer the following questions. So what do strong partnerships with families look like? Describe the benefits of working in partnerships with families, children, and the wider community. And why is it particularly important to build strong relationships with families experiencing vulnerability? I would like to thank you for joining me today, and please, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact me. My email address is listed on the PowerPoint for you, and I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite quotes, and that is, the best teachers are those who show you where to look but don't tell you what to do. That's one of my favorite quotes as well. So now you can continue on to complete the activities for this module, and remember to access the next module, which is characteristic 7, leadership and governance. Thank you for joining me today.